Hello everybody and welcome to today's webinar session. This session is all about preparing you to study in the UK and getting used to the resources that will be available to you once you're fully enrolled as a Hertfordshire student. The session is recorded, it's nothing to worry about, it's just in case anybody's connection drops or if anybody wasn't able to attend today, we can share the recording after the session as well. We're going to be going through a bit of a live demo and some slides for you. If you do have any questions throughout, please use the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen and we'll be going to questions at the end of the session as well. And the module, the free online module that we're going to run through today is also available to you. So if you haven't already checked it out, you can go through that after the session as well. My name's Kat, I work in the international office and I've got a few colleagues on the stream with me as well today, who I'll pass to shortly. But just to give everybody an overview, so this session is just to familiarise you with the resources that are going to be available to you. This is all taken from the online module that the university has created just to help you prepare to know what to do for studying in the UK. The link to that module is on the screen now, but it was also in your invitation email to this webinar, and we'll share it in the chat later as well. We're going to be giving you a bit of an overview of Canvas and StudyNet and how to navigate those systems and what they look like. There's a few tips from current students, so a few videos that we'll be able to play as well about things they wish they would have known before joining, and how to get the most out of your time at Herts. And then once we've finished the slides and the demo, that's when we'll go to the Q&A. So I'm going to pass to my colleague now, Amanda, to give us a bit of a walkthrough.
Thanks, Kat. Hello, everyone. So good to see all of you here at the webinar today. I hope you're just as excited as we are in welcoming you here at University of Hertfordshire. So as Kat said, I'm Amanda Yip. So I work in the Learning and Teaching Innovation Centre. So I'm one of the academics, but I work with colleagues across the institution, but also working with some of your lecturers and program leaders within the programs here at the university, which you're hoping to come and see, that you'll be here soon. So as Kat said, we're going to try and spend some time today to look at this particular module, which is called Getting Ready to Study at Herts, with where Kat has already shared as part of today's webinar, but also to kind of help you think about how this particular resource that we have actually curated in partnership with our students, our existing students and students who have graduated. And hopefully this particular module will help you transition into higher education here in the UK, but specifically more tailored to your experience here at the University of Hertfordshire. So hopefully you've been directed to this particular site already, but if you haven't, do not worry at all. We are going to share and do a little bit of walkthrough of this particular module. So this particular module, as we said, is called Getting Ready to Study at Herts module. And I'm now going to share my screen so that you will be able to see the particular module site. I hope you can all see that. And this is the module that you will have access to, and it's free and it's open access. And I hope you'll actually take some time to work through this particular resource. What you'll see is that it will help you prepare, like what Kat has said earlier about how this will, what is to come when you come here at the University of Hertfordshire, but also it gives you those advice and tips so you make the most of your time here. And this all comes from our students. So what you'll be able to do as part of the walkthrough, if you haven't had a chance already to look at the units, is that it is set up in such a way that it's on Canvas, which is basically our virtual learning environment that you'll be using for a lot of your learning. Online materials will be placed there. You will get resources being put on there, and a lot of the communication from your tutors about what's happening the week after and all of that in your time here will be put onto this particular virtual learning environment, which we call Canvas. So as you can see, as you go down, as you scroll through, it provides you a great resource of information from students telling you what they know before they started university, but also it provides you lots of information which is structured in units to help you as you navigate your time here at the university. For example, you might think that you have got existing skills that you have already, but also thinking a little bit about how you would then thrive with your study here. For example, thinking about how you manage your time effectively here at the university. So this module gives you this whole idea about how you could do that. For example, we know that you want to not just think about your study, but also juggling this with every other things that you might be doing. So thinking about how you manage your time effectively. And in here, working with our students, as you click through, it tells you some of the tips that you can think about and how you should be thinking about making that to-do list for yourself, for example, and how you can subscribe to your timetable on your program, telling you how to do that. There's a little video that guides you through that. So that's also an important thing to think about, you know, putting that timetable together, creating that space for you to study, and also think about where to ask for help if you need some support in terms of your academic study. The other thing you might want to think about is when you do come here and in your study time, there will be time that your tutor will say a lot about independent study. And obviously, as you know, there are varying learning and teaching activities that take place. But then at the same time, there is a blend of time that you will be opportunities for you to do your own independent study. So remember to timetable that in, you know, for your learning, making sure that, you know, even if you look at your timetable, there are some spare slots, thinking about where you would do that independent study to revise on or to reflect on some of the learning that you've already been doing in the classroom. So think about all of that as part of the skills that you will need to think about in there. The other thing that is quite useful to think about as well is some of the tips that we've offered here about the kind of support that you'll get when you're here. So thinking a little bit about the study skill support that you have here, for example, what kind of one-to-one support you can get to help you in thinking about you making sure that you think about your becoming more an effective learner at the university, thinking about the courses that you can get on, for example, thinking about the writing that you'll need to do for your assignment, thinking about the presentation skills that you would like to further develop. All of these things are going to be available to you when you come onto the campus, and also you get this one-to-one support online as well. So there are ways to get to these resources. We have a Center for Academic English. You might want to go to this video to watch a little bit about the kind of support they offer to provide to help you support you in your success on your journey here at the university. So as our colleague here will say, they provide you one-to-one support. There are workshops they run. So do take advantage of this to help you kind of in your transition and supporting you in your assignments, for example. There are also things called digital library skill up. So if you have already signed up to the university and you're registered, I know some of you are at different stages of registration, but once you've got your confirmation, you've got your registration, we also have a module called library skill up. And this module helps you to think about how to use resources, how to do your reading, your writing, and all the bits that is what you'll need to kind of help you develop that academic skills in succeeding on your program here at the university. So making sure that you spend time in exploring these different units is going to give you a bit of an insight into the support that you get, not just from the program, from your program leaders or the tutors that will be teaching you within your programs, but also from a wider university perspective, the support that you'll have here as well. The other thing I thought would be quite nice to share is to think a little bit about, how over the last 18 months we've been through the pandemic. There is this whole idea about thinking about our digital skills. So thinking about, you've all got these digital skills. How would you use these digital skills and upskill them to help you develop that better, so you could use that on your program, developing your digital capability skills? So you think about when you graduate, how you could use that skills in perhaps your interview. All of those things are kind of threaded through in this module as well. So it would be really useful for you to have a look at this particular unit. I think, as you work through this particular page, it gives you an opportunity to see how units will be structured, how your learning will be structured by your tutor, but also showing you some of the opportunities or things you can be involved in, but also the kind of support that will be there when you kind of arrive here at the university. Right, Kat, thank you. I hope that was useful.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Amanda. So I think what we'll do now then, everybody, is we'll actually watch some of those videos together as well, just to get everybody started. So as Amanda said, it is a module with a lot of information in. It's well worth you taking the time and working through this after the session, or when you do have a chance. It's worth doing it within the first week or two of you starting your course, just so you know everything that is available to you. So what we'll do, I'll just share my screen again, and then we'll look at some of the videos together, particularly around StudyNet and Canvas, so that you can start getting familiar with that. I know that some of you will still be waiting to complete your registration, have your documents checked, so you should be able to access these systems soon as well. So let me just load this up. Okay, so hopefully you can all see my screen now. So I'm just in the digital skills section of the online module. Now, what we have here, so I've just scrolled about halfway down the page, and then you've got the video on StudyNet and also one below on Canvas. Now, we're going to watch both of these in the session just to give you a head start. So I'll just make this full screen as well.
This short video will give you a brief overview of StudyNet. The URL for StudyNet is studynet.herts.ac.uk, and you log in with your University of Hertfordshire username and password. Starting from the toolbar at the top, you'll see an app launcher for quick access to general applications like Office 365, Ask Herts, parking, and change password, for example. The next option is My StudyNet. This returns you to the StudyNet homepage, which is the page that's currently displayed. The next option is Online Library. This will take you through to the Online Library page, where you can search library search for books, journals and articles, and you'll also be able to find subject-specific information to help with your studies. There is another YouTube video available on the Online Library introduction, so do look out for that on our YouTube channel. Next, you'll see we have help and support, and you can also log out. Now, in this top banner section of the homepage, there's this personal section. Here you can find quick links to your timetable, along with the progress and performance section as well. Below this, the StudyNet homepage is split into a number of sections. The first section, University News, displays news items from the last couple of weeks and will also advertise any university events. Below this, we have the My Course section. Here you can see your student record number, and you can also see useful links through to your Canvas modules. The next section is dedicated to careers and employment. This contains links through to the Careers Hub, this week's events, graduate jobs and placements. Following this, we have the Students' Union section. They're here to ensure that you get the best experience here at UH. Finally, there are some quick links to some useful help materials and online services. This includes links through to Hearts Mobile, LCS status page, laptop printing, change your password, and maybe accommodation and housing. If you aren't sure which category your query would fall under, you can always use this Ask Hearts search bar.
Okay, so that was just a very quick introduction to StudyNet for you all, just to help you when you're first logging in and navigating around the system. Hopefully it's going to look a little bit more familiar. And again, you can all access this module no matter what stage of registration you're at, so do go and check it out after. We're just going to watch the video about Canvas now. So Canvas does look a little bit similar to this. This video, it is about 10 minutes long, but it's all key information that you will need just to help you hit the ground running for your course as well. So again, we're going to watch that together. If you do have any questions, please make sure that you put them into the Q&A box, because if they're in the chat, we might miss them because I know the chat's moving quite quickly. So if you do have any questions, please use the Q&A box, and myself and colleagues will be going to them shortly as well.
Hello, this video will take you through how to get started with Canvas. So once you've logged into StudyNet and you find your module list, and you just need to click on one of the modules and that will bring you into Canvas. Once you're inside your module, the first thing you'll come to is the module home page. Now, the first thing what we need to do is when we're getting started with Canvas is to look at our account. So on the very far left hand side at the top, you have an area called Account. And what we're going to look at first is our profile. So let's click on that. Now your profile is normally blank when you first come into Canvas. So what we're going to do is add a little bit of information in. So on the top right hand side, we have the Edit Profile button. If you click on that, you'll be able to write a little bit about yourself. Please note that anybody on your modules, staff and students, will be able to read this. You can also add links, so maybe if you have a blog or anything in particular that pertains to you, you might want to put that into the links area. Just remember that staff and students on your courses can see this. So once you've put some information about yourself, you can also upload a photo. We recommend that you upload a headshot of yourself so that staff and students can recognize your face. To do that, you need to click on the circle. And you have a couple of options. You can upload by choosing a picture from your computer or device, or if you have a webcam installed, you can actually take a picture there and then of yourself. And once you've done that, you'll just need to click on the Save button. You may get a message from your browser to say, would you allow this to use your webcam? You just need to give permission and then you'll be able to take the picture. I'm just going to cancel that. You can also add registered services to your contact details. So this might be your LinkedIn profile, Twitter profile, or other services that you might want to connect up. So if somebody looks at your profile, they'll be able to click through and contact you via there as well. Once you've done all your updates, you just need to click on Save Profile. The next thing we're going to look at is notifications. Now there are two types of notifications. You have your account notifications. These go across all your module sites. And we've also got course level notifications. And that is where you can customize it depending on your module. So one module you want certain notifications to go through, and other modules you might want different notifications to come through. So we're going to look at the account level notifications first. So I'm going to click on notifications. Okay, so there's lots here. So we have the tick, which means notify me straight away. The clock, that means send me a daily summary. The send weekly summary has a calendar icon. And the X means don't send me anything about this at all. By default, it will send the notifications to the email address that you registered with the university with. If you have downloaded the Canvas app, which we would recommend, you'll have a column for push notifications as well. And you can add your phone number in if you wanted to and get different notifications sent through as a text message. Now, if you're not sure what these mean, when you place your mouse over them, you'll get more information. And you can choose what you'd like each of these to be. What we do recommend that you keep on is under conversations, when you're added to conversation and a conversation message, that you keep these on straight away. So if a staff member or another student sends you a message from Canvas, you'll receive it immediately. We also recommend that you keep on announcements as well, so that when staff members send out an announcement from the modules or from the program sites, you'll receive that straight away as well. Now, the other type of notifications is course level notifications, and I'll show you those in just a second. To navigate to your modules, once you're inside Canvas, there are two ways. You can either go via the dashboard, and what you'll see is a list of your tiles showing each of your modules that you're registered on, or you can click on modules, which brings up a list of the module sites that you are connected to. So I'm going to click on and go into back into the module. Now, on the right hand side, we have view course notifications. If I click on this, what this is a notification settings, but it's just for this particular module or for this site. Here, you need to click on the actual setting, and then you can choose what you would like it to be. So whether it be notify me straight away, a daily summary, which essentially sends it to you at the end of the day, the weekly summary sends it to you on Saturday morning. Or you can switch notifications off about a particular notification for this module only. If you don't do anything to this, it will remain back onto the account level notifications. So let's go back to the home page. So your home page will normally have a welcome, sometimes as a welcome video, and you'll be able to see the staff that are enrolled onto this particular module. Any recent activity that's happened will be also showing on your home page, and you might also have a to-dos list to do. So anything that has a date on it that's coming up in the next week will be also listed here with links for you to go straight to it. The units area, I'll click on this, is where your main teaching content will be held. And module sites normally have at the top module information. The first link is normally a link back to the home page. You will then have graduate attributes, which will explain how this module site will fulfill these attributes for you. Module specific requirements, which gives you details about the module, and normally has a reading list too, which is an online reading list. So it has links going out to all the resources that you need for this particular module. You'll then have units listed here, which sometimes might be in weekly format, or it could be by topic. And within that, you'll have different types of content sitting inside. You'll have different icons depending on the type of content sitting here. So here we have a page. Okay, so this could have information that's been content typed out by your tutors, videos, recordings, all sorts of things can be put onto a page. And what you would do is click on this page, and you'll then be able to view it. This one with the rocket is a quiz. And you might find that you have quizzes to help you check your own learning, or it could be that they actually contribute towards your final module grade. And the tutor will explain that to you if that's the case. We then have where we have speech bubbles, and that is a discussion topic. So sometimes you'll have a discussion board that you'll be expected to contribute to. So you'd click through, read what the discussion is on, and then you'll be able to reply. Then sometimes you might find you have the reading for this particular week embedded into the unit. And what this will do is when you click through, you'll see the particular texts or resources that you should be looking at for this particular week. And the last one here is an assignment. Okay, so there's two types of assignments that you may see. There'll be one that will just give you the brief, but you're not actually expected to upload online, but you will be able to read all the information about it. Or there's the one that it is an online submission and you are expected to actually contribute to that. So what I'm going to do now is show you how to submit an assignment. So you click on the name of the assignment, and on the top right hand side you have a red button that says Submit Assignment. On the far left here is the due date. Now this is your deadline. If you submit 1 second past this deadline, it will show up as late. It will tell you that what is expected, so whether it's a non-submission where you aren't expected to upload, or whether it's actually something you are expected to do and submit to. And the available date is the date that the assignment is actually open until, and this allows for late submissions. The date that you need to concentrate on is the due date. That is the deadline. Then you go to Submit Assignment, and you have the option then to browse and upload from your computer or device. You also have the ability to keep uploading as many files as you need to. You can write a comment in with your submission, so if you want the marker to see something, you can type into here. And you also need to tick to say that you agree to the end user license agreement. Now that's because Turnitin has been switched on here that will check your work for plagiarism. If you don't tick this, you won't be able to submit your assignment. So once you find a file, so I'm going to browse my computer, add a file in, and like I said, you can carry on adding as many files as you need to. Then you can click Submit Assignment. You'll get a message on the right-hand side to say that it's been submitted with the date and the time that it actually went through. What we recommend is that you click on the download and just double check that you've submitted the correct assignment. The next part I'm going to take you through is how to send a message through Canvas. To do this, we need to go to the inbox on the far left-hand side. So to compose a message, you just click on this button here, which is a little pencil on top of the paper. You select the module that you'd like to send a message to. On the far right-hand side, you see like an address book button. If you click on this, you can then send, say, if you want to send a message to the teachers or to the students. If it was to a staff member, then you can choose all of them or just certain people. You can then type your subject, type in your message here, and then click Send. And the last thing to show you is the Help menu, and this is where you'll find extra support and guidance to help you navigate Canvas.
Excellent. So we hope that gave you a little overview of Canvas, and we hope that you feel a bit more comfortable with how to navigate that, what it's going to look like when you get access, how to set up your notifications as well. So I can see that a few questions have come in now, which is excellent. What I'll do, I'll just quickly jump back to our presentation just to give you an idea of the takeaways that you should be having from this session, and then we'll go to the Q&A and answer some of your questions. So after the session, just work your way through the rest of the module. So those videos that we watched together, you can re-watch them back if you want to. We'll share the link to this in the chat as well, and it's also in your invite, so you can go to that. Just make sure that you do know about the resources available to you in case you need any support while you're at Herts. So that's all the things like the Careers and Employment resource, the Wellbeing resource, the Dean of Students team, the SU. Make sure that you're aware of who you can contact if you do need help at any point. And also make sure that you set up your notifications, any module options that you've been asked to do by the tutor, and check your timetable. Make sure you know when your deadlines are, what assignments are due when, just to make sure you're getting the most out of your time as well. So we'll go to Q&A now. What I'll do, I'll be reading out the questions and myself and colleagues will be answering them as well. So if you do have any questions about the information that we've shared today, please now type it in the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen. So Amanda, I'm not sure if this is a question for yourself, if you know this, or if we'd have to wait to speak to a tutor, but somebody's asked, how would attendance be taken for an online module, or if there's online classes that people have to do? How is attendance recorded?
Yeah, thanks, Kat. So to answer that question, often when you attend a session, there would be an attendance list. So your tutor would be able, at the end of that session, if you've attended it, download a copy to know exactly if you've attended the session or not. That's usually how they would deal with attendance in an online session.
Perfect. Thanks, Amanda. And just on the back of that question as well, somebody else has asked, how do we join an online class? Now, I believe that a link is provided if you do have classes that are online, because obviously some will be in person now, so make sure that you know where your room numbers are. But for any classes that are online, I assume the link will be provided by the tutor in the timetable.
That's correct. So what you will normally get if you are asked to attend a session, say that it's online, you will either get a Zoom link or a Teams link, and this will be shared in the module site. So when we just looked at that Canvas module earlier, which is this Getting Ready to Study at Hearts module, you will have similar modules of that sort, and each of them will, within its unit or on its front page, it will tell you how to join the session.
Perfect, thank you. And then somebody else is asking, what's the difference between StudyNet and Canvas? They haven't seen their slots in the timetable yet. So regarding the timetable question, once you're fully registered, so once you've completed both stage 1 and stage 2, that's when you'll have full access to your resources. So check back on that after you've had confirmation that your registration's complete. Amanda, I don't know if you can give us an update on the StudyNet versus Canvas.
Yeah, so I can. Thanks, Kat. So StudyNet is actually the term we use here a lot within our University of Hertfordshire's internal platform. And it's actually the virtual learning environment we first created in the past, which then allows you to share quite a lot of more information, not just about your module or your program, but it gives you the overarching information of all the support resources and things that you can get involved with. For example, if you watched that video earlier that Kat shared, it gives you information about careers and employment. It gives you information about housing and accommodation. It gives you information about the student union. It gives you all the different information that you will not find that is about the university as a whole. Whereas Canvas is integrated within our StudyNet platform, and it actually links you to all the kind of the academic learning side of the content of your program.
Perfect, thank you. Now I can see that a few people are asking, can they get the recording of this video or the copy of the slides? Yes, what we'll be doing is after the session, we are recording this session, so we'll upload this to our international YouTube channel and then we'll just share the link out as well. So if you do want to watch this back, by all means you can do, but everything that we're covering is actually in that online module. Even more information is available in there than what we've got time to cover in this 1 hour session today. So everything you need will be in there, and we will reshare the link at the end as well for you. Okay, somebody else has said that unfortunately, they've actually missed their first session with their induction on their course because of a technical problem. Will this affect anything? Now, my immediate advice would be contact your tutor or your program leader just to let them know what's happened so they're aware that you were trying to join. It might be that you need to check with our IT help desk as well to make sure that you don't have that problem in future if it's happened again for you. So please do reach out if you're having any technical problems, if you can't access things. If you can't find your specific tutor information, you can always contact our central accounts like ask@hearts.ac.uk, put your details in and they'll be able to make sure that your email gets to the right person as well, depending on what course you're doing and what support you need.
Yeah, I think, Kat, that's really good. I think that's really good advice. Do that. And also, hopefully, if you're able to resolve the issue with your technical problems, get in touch with our help desk at hearts.ac.uk, and hopefully they'll be able to resolve that. And hopefully the induction session is recorded, so then you can actually go back and watch what you've missed from the induction session, because I'm sure your program leader perhaps may have shared some information that is program related that Kat and I probably wouldn't know. But it'd be good to kind of get in touch with your program leader. But do bear in mind that because of the volume sometimes with their emails, it might take a little while for them to get back to you. But do not be despair, they will come back to you, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, I'm just checking a few more questions now. We've got some great ones coming in. So if you do have a question, please continue to use that Q&A and we'll be answering as many as we can. Somebody else has asked, can we explain a bit more about how somebody's personal timetable might be different from the general course timetable?
Yeah, thanks, Kat. So again, thinking about your personal timetable to the general course timetable. So often when you're on a program together, you might have students on different pathways or specialist routes. So you might have students doing route A and someone might be doing route B. You might have modules where you will study together as a big group on a module, but there are also times where you might be doing different modules on different pathways or different specialist routes. That would be how it could be different. But there is also a difference in which tutorial sessions, the small group learning that you'll be doing, or seminar groups and laboratory sessions, where you might be given a different session to your other course mates, for example. So that's how your timetable could be different. But if you think about a lecture, often everyone will have that same core lectures together, but all the kind of smaller group activities, you might have them dotted across the week. That's how it's different from a kind of generic course timetable.
Excellent, thanks, Amanda. Okay, we've got another question here. Somebody's asked, they're actually doing the LLM Master of Law. They want to swap the course to the LLM Commercial Law. Now, I believe that with the law, it's different pathways, but I would recommend, because you've already started your course, you're going to have to speak to your school of study. They'll probably have to double check some things with the student immigration team as well, just regarding kind of your visa, because you'll already be on your visa at this point. We do have students who do swap courses once you start. If you feel like you've made the wrong choice, you know, the course isn't for you, you should have picked a different one, do reach out and speak to people, and they will see if there is the option for you to be able to change. I know that it is usually easier to change visa-wise if it's in the same school of study, but you will need to speak to your school of study and the student immigration team as well about your options.
Yeah, I agree, Kat. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. Somebody else has asked, can they get information regarding the fee structure? Who should they contact? So we actually have a student finance team at the university. So usually once you've completed your registration, you'll have your liability date information. So you have to have paid a certain percentage of your fees by certain dates during the year. Usually you'll get an email from the student finance team just giving you a breakdown of your fees, what's owed when, and setting up any payment plan if you haven't already done so. If you haven't received any confirmation from them, or you're still not sure what to do after receiving that email, please do contact them. Their email address is student-finance@hearts.ac.uk. And then they'll be able to help you out as well and look at your personal details and your personal plan. Okay. Somebody else is asking, how do they do their stage 2 registration? So you will have received emails from international@hearts.ac.uk just with links to that. So you need to complete your stage 1 first, which is all about checking your personal details are correct. There'll be the option to upload a photo of yourself for your ID card. Once you've completed that, you'll then get an automated email that will invite you to do the stage 2 registration, which involves uploading copies of documents. So Usually it'll be a copy of the stamped vignette on your passport showing that you've got your visa and you've safely arrived in the UK. If you are completing stage 2 registration before you've travelled to the UK, because you can do that if you're just waiting for your travel date, you'll need to upload evidence that you've made your visa application and also a copy of your passport photo page. So you can actually go to our pre-arrival guide on our website. So just go to hearts.ac.uk, search for international pre-arrival, and there's links to the registration portals there as well, if for any reason you've deleted the emails that we've sent you. If you are still struggling, do contact us at international@hearts.ac.uk, and we'll be able to help you and guide you through the steps as well. Okay, I'm just checking a few more details. I think I've got another one for you here, Amanda, as well, about calendars. Somebody said, can they sync their timetable to their Google Calendar? I don't know if the system allows that or not.
I think it does, and there is actually some guidance on how to do that within the module that we just talked about, this Getting Ready to Study at Hearts module. And if you actually go to the unit on managing your time effectively, there's a link that takes you to how you could subscribe to your timetable and how you get that feed into your Google Calendar. So have a look at that, and hopefully that will help you resolve that syncing of your calendars. Yeah.
Excellent, thank you. And we've got another question about kind of engagement in class. So somebody said, is it mandatory to always ask questions in every class? They're aware that students would naturally be asking questions anyway, but they've noticed that engagements are measured to a point scores. So they just want to know how much engagement in each class is expected.
I think this is, you often, if you think about it, we don't expect students to answer questions, ask questions all the time. There may be other ways that tutor might get you to engage in a classroom. For example, they might use something called Mentimeter. And if you work through the little module that we just shared with you there, the Getting Ready to Study at Hearts module, we have got this interactive online software that you can actually interact using your smartphone. So because we understand sometimes different students may not feel confident to ask the question. Some of them might want to think a little bit before they share their thoughts. So there are different ways that your tutor might engage you with the interaction that takes place in the classroom or in an online setting. And I'm not quite sure about this measurement towards scores. If this is related, say, for example, tutors are asking you as part of your post session work, for example, asking you to share your thoughts in a class discussion thread, and they said you must, engage with that to show that you've done your learning, you've gone away and did your independent learning and come back and then write your little thoughts, then that is what they mean by engagement. So they want to make sure that you're engaging with the topic that they've just covered with you. So that's how they would perhaps measure your engagement with the module. But I think if anything you're not quite sure of in terms of engagement or how to engage effectively on the program or the module, then speak to the tutor itself, and they will be able to kind of share and tell you a little bit how you would make the best opportunity or take the best opportunity on that learning journey.
Thanks, Amanda.
Yeah.
Somebody else is asking about kind of attendance. So they've said, if they miss the live session of a class, but they watch back the recorded session of an online class, does that count towards attendance or not?
Unfortunately not. That doesn't count as attendance, because attendance meaning that you're actually present in the room, whether it's in a virtual room that you have or in a face-to-face setting as well. So anyone doing a catch-up will not be counted as being attending the session. And it's always better to be able to attend these sessions, because you are not just learning on your own, but also learning from your other peers in the room, and that opportunity for you to kind of get to know one another and build that community of learning together. I think that's really important. So where possible, try to attend those sessions online or face-to-face.
Okay, and we've had another question here about can I attend classes online before I arrive for face-to-face classes? Yes, you can. As soon as you've completed your registration, so you're enrolled at Hertfordshire, if you are waiting to travel, make sure that you are engaging with your classes, online learning materials up till then as well. So you'll still be able to participate even if you're in your home country. You do need to make sure that you are in the UK ready for face-to-face teaching by your course's deadline, which again is available on the last page of our pre-arrival guide. So if there's going to be any problems with you not meeting those deadlines, you must contact us as soon as possible, because we'll need to check what options are available to you. But yes, make sure you're engaging online before you can get to the UK. Okay, I'm just checking a few more more questions as well. So somebody said, can I get the Hearts hoodie? So these are the free hoodies that are given to our new starters. Yes, hoodies are going to be given out, I believe, in February time. So keep an eye out for those. Make sure that you're checking the student comms that you'll start getting once you're fully registered. The hoodies, they do try and order enough for everyone. However, it will be based on sort of a first come, first serve. They do try and reserve hoodies to make sure everyone can get a chance at a hoodie, but they are free. They're not 100% guaranteed, but most students will get one of the free Hearts hoodies as well. Okay, somebody else, we've had a few more questions regarding timetables. Somebody said, how do we know the timetable for offline lectures versus online lectures, and where do we see the locations for the in-person lectures?
So when you download, or when you're able, once you've completed registration and you can see your timetable, what you'll notice is that if a session is run online, there wouldn't be a room number on there. So if there is a room number on your timetable, then this would be a session that will take place face to face, which I assume this is what you mean by offline. So if the lectures was done in a room, then you will see on your timetable that it has a room number on it. And if it's an online session, it would not have a room number. So if you see on your timetable there isn't a room number on it, then what you'll need to do then, look for the link on your module site for that specific module.
Excellent. Thank you very much as well. So I'm just checking a few more questions now. Somebody said they can see in the chat a lot of people are introducing themselves, which is great. That's really nice. So you can start meeting fellow students. A few people have mentioned they're in group 3 or group 5, and they're also mentioning about WhatsApp groups as well. Now, WhatsApp groups, these will just be the personal groups that your fellow students have set up themselves. So they're not official, they're not to do with the university. If you're happy to join them, that's by all means up to you, but they're not regulated by the university or monitored by the university. So that would just be like a WhatsApp group of friends. Regarding people saying that they're in group 3 or group 5, I believe this is once they access their course information, it'll be the learning group that they're in. Is that right, Amanda?
Yeah. So this would be so this is probably the groups that you've been assigned to for your smaller learning activities. For example, in a tutorial session where you might have about 20 students or 25 students or 30 students, depending on your class sizes and how your program has set up the kind of different learning activities that take place. But it also could be a group that you are being assigned for your lab sessions, for example. So all of these things are very different how it's being set up, but these are formal learning sessions that you've been assigned to in your timetable.
Okay, now I can see we've got a few more questions regarding registration and stage 2. If you are experiencing any difficulties or questions regarding your registration, please do contact us at international@hearts.ac.uk. Send us your details and anything that you're currently struggling with. So I can see some people saying they've already completed stage 2, but they're not sure what to do next, or they might be having visa delays. So these are all quite personal scenarios. So please do send us an email about about those, and we can have a look into that for your personal situation as well for you. Okay, somebody else has said that they've missed the start. Please don't worry, we are recording this session. We'll be sharing the recording out as well, and everything that we've actually covered is available in that free online module that we linked to in your invitation to this webinar, so you can go and work through that. This session was just to give you a head start on working through some bits together, watching some of the videos as a group as well. So please don't worry, everything that you missed at the beginning is available online, so you can catch up on that as well. Okay, somebody else is asking, can they add elective courses to their course? I'm not sure what they mean. I don't know if you understand that one, Amanda.
Yeah, so you can add elective courses to your program, but as a postgraduate student, which I'm assuming all of you are, Kat, correct me if I'm wrong, they will do, is that right?
There'll be some, mostly postgrads, some undergrads will be here as well.
Right.
All January starters.
Okay, so all January starters in general. So if you are postgraduate students, you do up to 180 credits of your program. That's what you call a postgraduate program. And if you're an undergraduate student, you will have to do 120 credits each academic year. Now, if you are talking about elective modules, which is outside of your program, you can study them. But I would recommend not to do that until you've settled and you know how things are with your program, to make sure that you get to grips of settling in here, you know, getting the kind of understanding of how your module runs and your program runs. Then once you've decided that, you can study up to, if I'm not mistaken, 30 credits outside of your normal program of study. But we wouldn't recommend that until you've kind of found your feet and you have settled in 6 weeks in and you're ready to kind of do that. But if you're talking about elective modules within your own program, sometimes you'll need to speak to your program leader, and you might also need to speak to the module tutor to find out if there is a space for you to be in that module, because sometimes it could be oversubscribed, and when it's oversubscribed, you will not be able to join the session.
Okay, so really important things to remember, everybody, as well. Now, we've had another question. Let me just find one as well. My colleague's busy answering questions typed as well. So please do keep an eye on the answered questions, everyone, because you might find that my colleague who's typing answers has answered something that somebody else has asked as well. Okay, so somebody else has asked, do I need a negative COVID test in order to enter the campus? So the rules in the UK are actually changing. Previously, the students were recommended to take lateral flow tests at home before they enter the campus. Do this a few times a week if you're going in every day, or on the morning before you go in if you were just going in sort of once or twice a week. Guidance on COVID in the UK is changing because the government have seen positive results. So we'll be putting out information about that shortly as well. But it's just a few things like mask wearing will no longer be needed. You might still need this in some public places, like if you're using transport, especially in London. So do keep an eye on that, but you can check the most up-to-date rules on the NHS website as well. And when you've all downloaded the NHS app, that'll tell you exactly what to do as well for you. Okay, and somebody said that their timetable link isn't currently working. What I would recommend, usually your timetable will be available once your course has started, and all courses should have started by Monday. So if you are struggling, please do screenshot the error messages that you're getting, and you can send those to ask@herts.ac.uk. They can have a look for you and check if something's not been set up right, or if you may be clicking on the wrong area, or if there's something in the system that needs changing for you. Okay, and somebody else is asking about How do they register for a GP and a dentist in the UK? Do we have any recommendations? So you can actually register with a GP and a dentist once you're fully enrolled at the university. As part of your visa application process, you'll have paid the NHS health surcharge anyway, which allows you to use the NHS services once you're in the UK. We do actually have a GP for students to use on the campus. So if you are living on campus or close by in Hatfield, that is the one that we would recommend for you, just because it's on the campus, it's really convenient and they're used to dealing with students. If you are living a bit further away than that, it might be that you have one that's closer to where you're living. So you can actually contact your local GP and register with them as well. Regarding dentists, so if you're looking for an NHS dentist, you can also have a look online for that. If you just search NHS dentist, you'll be able to put in the postcode of where you live and see what dentists are actually accepting NHS patients now. A lot of dentists will be accepting private patients, but you'd obviously have to pay more than that if you're just looking to get general checkups. And they've also said regarding what accounts should they open. So you'll all need to have a UK bank account. You might have looked to set this up before you arrive. I know we discussed in our pre-departure webinars about some banks that we would recommend, such as Monzo, Starling, so that you can actually start setting those accounts up online before you've been able to arrive. But do your research into what type of bank account is the best for you. Some of them will have fees and extra perks, some of them won't. So you just need to make sure that you're doing the research and checking what is right for you, because what might be right for you might not be right for somebody else as well. So we can't recommend an exact one for you. Okay, we're getting a few questions as well about if somebody hasn't been able to arrive in the UK yet, but they've had in-person classes scheduled on their timetable, will they be excused from the classes that they've missed? Now, as long as you're arriving in the UK and you're ready for face-to-face teaching by your course's deadline, the programme tutors will be aware that the courses that you might have missed, you'll be able to catch up on. However, we would still recommend that you make sure that you are in contact with your programme tutor or the lecturer that's taking that particular class to let them know what's going on and that you're not just missing the classes on purpose as well, and also give them an idea of when you'll be arriving. I don't know if there's anything you wanted to add, Amanda, if there's anything I've missed with that response as well.
No, I think you've given them the really, really good advice on to, what they should do, making sure you stay in contact with your program leader and the module tutor that's running the session. Yeah.
Excellent, perfect, thank you. And then engagement for people who are arriving late for the face-to-face learning. So obviously you won't get that attendance tick for face-to-face teaching that you miss, as Amanda explained earlier. So you'll just need to make sure that you catch up as well. But as long as you're here by that deadline, the tutors will have been aware and be able to take that into account for the rest of your learning as well. Now, we're almost at the end of the session. We've had some excellent questions come in, and massive thank you to Amanda as well for joining us today and sharing sort of the insider knowledge with us as well. What we'll do is we'll take just probably one or two more questions and then we'll answer as many typed as we can just while we play a little video for you to see some of the sites around the campus as well. So somebody else has said, can I borrow a laptop from the university? So in the LRCs, there are workstations that you will be able to use if you don't have your own laptop. There's also a scheme at the university where you can actually borrow a laptop from the web team, the help desk team. Yes. You'd need to sign up for that though. Most students will have their own laptop, but if that isn't an option for you, there will be workstations that you can use as well. And we'll probably just take one more question. So somebody said, how can I get a student ID card? So once you're fully registered and you're in the UK, you'll actually be able to collect this from the Hutton Hub. I believe that they'll be letting people know once the ID cards are ready. And if you've opted to collect your BRP card from the university. So if you use that alternative collection code when you were doing your visa application, the teams at the Hutton Hub usually try and give them out at the same time, just to avoid longer queues from people having to go back multiple times as well. But if you're not sure, then again, you can always contact the Ask at Hearts team or look at the articles on ask.hearts website as well. Okay, I think that's as many questions as we've been able to answer in this hour then, everyone. So again, massive thank you for joining us today. We hope that you all have an excellent start to your Hearts journey. Good luck on your courses as well. Make sure that you are checking all your timetable information, that extra reading, those support services, just to get the most out of your time at Hearts. And what we'll do now is we'll just play a short video just so that you can see some of the on-campus facilities as well. But thank you very much, everybody.